Welcome to the WrestleMania recap. I'm Fernando Ramirez, Gilbert Manzano. We just watched night one, which was full of surprises, some whoopings, and just about everything you want from night one of WrestleMania. Gilbert, what did you think?
I love the Fernando, but look at us floating heads here at WrestleMania Night One. We're trying to make it work, what we have here, but it was a great show. I'm trying to think of everything because it was so good from the start. John Cena, remember that? Austin Theory.
No, Snoop Dogg and The Miz started us
There you
off.
go, even better. And then the Miz came back later with your boy Pat McAfee. So Rey Mysterio, Dominik
What?
Mysterio,
What?
that was fantastic. Rhea Ripley, Charlotte, even the main event, the Usos and Sami Zayn and KO. So overall, I was pleased, man.
You know what's crazy is that sometimes you're like, how can night two follow this up? And it's like today they had some really strong matches. Becky Lynch, Trish Stratus, and Lita as well. So you had a lot of heavy hitters happening tonight. You know what's one match we haven't mentioned? Seth Rollins and Logan Paul. That actually was a pretty fun. I think that kind of got everybody going a little bit. Um, you could tell the passion that Seth Rollins had. Seth Rollins had said, "If I don't win this match, then who am I? I'm gonna have to discover who I am again." And obviously, he was able to discover it. He ended up beating Logan Paul. And the crazy part is, I know we should start with the Cena match, but this match for some reason, like I told you, I think the guy in the outfit in the what is it, Prime?
Oh, the prime
In the
drink,
Prime,
yeah.
I thought it was gonna be Jake Paul, his little brother that was gonna come out and help, or is he the older? He's the younger brother, Jake.
Oh, yeah, Jake Paul's the
Yeah, yeah,
younger
yeah.
one.
But no, it was KSI, and Seth Rollins grabs him. He uh, he jumps on top of him and breaks the Spanish announce table. Which, if WWE does begin betting, Gilbert, what people are going to start betting on when the Spanish announce. That's going to be one of the bets. When does the Spanish announce table get dropped? And real quick before I go to Gilbert, if you guys are wondering why are you guys shooting it like this, and not the way you guys regularly do for
Yeah.
NFL games, it is because they have shut off the lights. I don't think they want me here anymore, but we're trying to give you guys a good recap. And but Gilbert, I mean, that impressed me. What impressed? Which match?
How about we keep it there? Seth freaking Rollins and Logan Paul. And I kept telling your friend, though, I want to see Seth Rollins just crush Logan Paul out there. Uh, and then well, before I get to the actual match, the best entrance of the night was Seth freaking
Oh,
Rollins with the conductor
conductor.
guy. I don't know if you know how to do the noise or the sound.
Oh,
And that was happening throughout the match. Maybe you could do it while I'm speaking about this analysis
no.
of Seth freaking Rollins. That was amazing with the conductor and coming
Sometimes my
out.
voice is too loud and I don't need it to.
It's okay. And then Seth had the nice tribute to HBK with the suit there. I love that.
So did Logan Paul with his entrance. Remember
Actually,
HBK?
I
It
even
was
yeah.
yeah,
Actually, you're right. I didn't
yeah.
even catch it till now. Okay, nice for the showstopper there. Hollywood, you got to do it that way. And I was really impressed with Seth Rollins overall because he got your attention with that entrance. Great match. And then just the whole persona, man, the laugh and I'm gonna destroy this guy, put him in his place, and that's what he did. And then the whole KSI coming at the prime
Yep.
bottle, but you called, and then I guess the last minute switch we should call it, where
Yeah.
KSI got into the table,
Yeah.
and then Logan Paul frog splash was a favorite part for me of that match.
Yeah, no, really good match. Let's start with the beginning though. John Cena versus Austin Theory. Gilbert, I know it didn't happen, but it's starting to look like John Cena is on the at the end when he did the five knuckle shuffle. He looked at the crowd and said thank you, and you could tell his face was different. He knows his time is coming up, and it's just crazy. But kudos to Cena. He put Austin Theory over. I know there was a little referee interference. Cena just, I mean, he's so good, but he's not, it just he doesn't get to practice as much as he used to. So obviously there is some ring rust. Austin Theory looked great, but you can tell the end is near for Cena, and he's right now. I think he's just enjoying the ride. Austin Theory beat him with the referee help and everything. Now, like I tweeted out, Cena now goes and does fast five, all the stuff leading up to fast 10. Sorry, all the stuff leading up to fast 10, and Austin Theory stays the U.S. champion, which I mean is overall good for Austin Theory's career because he had been talking about it. So kudos to Austin Theory for taking care of business.
Yes, we have the floating heads here, and the good thing about just having floating heads, we have nice hair. Mustache too and all that. You got nice hair, Fernando. John Cena, unfortunately, is losing the hair. And
Yeah,
when he took off the cap, the take off the hat,
yeah,
run to the ring with the nice little towel there, never give up. and he was so old to get down that the ring entrance ramp, and it's a really long one. I don't know this camera because they're
Hey,
right there. You can see it in the
yeah,
background
yeah.
there.
Hey, he was the only one that actually ran. Everybody
Actually,
else
yes,
walked.
but it was like
Yeah,
kind of like his knees were creaking, and then
yeah,
like the bald spot on the back of the head, and everything was pretty slow. But overall, you know, I guess for you, Fernando, what you were maybe expecting was retirement, but we didn't get that. And if he is going to retire, he's going to get a proper retirement.
yeah.
That wasn't it,
No.
but you could tell he is nearing the end, and it
By
was a
the
fun
way,
match.
WWE, he needs to win the 17th championship. He needs to break it, not Charlotte Flair. Him. He needs to break it. But sorry.
Well, we'll get to it, but Charlotte Flair did lose to make that happen,
Yeah.
but we'll see. And yeah, John Cena overall and Austin Theory. I guess the whole putting Austin Theory over. I didn't really get that sense. Such an early match, and LA crowd they come late. The
Yeah.
sun was out. It was hot. By the way, the
Yeah.
press box was freaking hot.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
This is my first time for YouTube covering a wrestling event from a press box, and we've been to
Yes.
SoFi Stadium so many times
Yeah.
to cover the NFL, and it's
Different.
different,
Different.
quieter.
Yep.
AC is on.
Yeah.
Here it's cheering. It's like
Well, I'd shout out to Danny Marcano for that one because he's usually the one that has the press box chili. He knows how I like the press box, so he shout out to him.
it was a different crowd, but I did enjoy some of the parts of the cheering and the clapping, and people here know their stuff, so that
Yeah.
was cool to see. But for the whole Austin Theory, like Seth Rollins, like you could tell, that guy commands like an
Oh yeah.
audience, and
Yeah.
and look at me, and with Theory not as much, but maybe he'll get there eventually.
No, yeah, and I mean he's still young. He's 25 years old or 26 years old, so definitely interesting to see what happens with Austin. Let's move on now. Obviously, it was the tag team the four-way tag team champions. Street Profits ended up winning. Uh, Gilbert, I thought that was a really good match just because it showcased everybody. It had like Braun Strowman got to do his ring around. What's it, Austin or Sheesh, God, Otis and Chad Gable was able to suplex Braun Strowman. Do you know what it takes to lift a human like that up? So I think everybody, the Viking Raiders had some good spots. I feel like everybody did showcase their thing, but the Street Profits come out victorious. Why? Because, ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you now, the Street Profits, this is their year. Those two guys, even if they went singles, they are destined for greatness with WWE. I love both Montez Ford and Dawkins as well.
Yeah, I was thinking, okay, which match will be the one where I go get up and get
Yeah,
some snacks, get some food, go to the bathroom, whatever. And I started paying attention closer to that match. I'm like, oh, everybody's doing their thing. Ricochet, remember,
yeah.
remember the
Oh,
Miz, that interview you had
Ricochet.
with the
Yeah,
Miz? Like, yeah, Ricochet's doing flip,
yeah,
flip,
yeah,
flip, and he has so many amazing flips. Whatever, a couple double flips,
yeah.
whatever it is. That guy was fun to watch. Braun Strowman, I became a fan after the interviews that you
Yeah,
had with those two.
yeah.
But overall, I think every tag team had a little something to deliver, and maybe it's not like big names, and maybe you feel like it's gonna be a little chaotic, but everybody delivered at their points, and it was very well organized. I guess amid chaos. How about
Yeah,
that?
exactly. We already spoke about the Seth Rollins match, so we're gonna jump over and go to the Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch versus Lita, or Becky Lynch with Trish and Lita versus Damage Control. That one, Gilbert. The reason why I was interested is because I had thought that maybe Trish Stratus might double cross them and set up a match Becky Lynch versus her at SummerSlam, which would be awesome to watch. But obviously that didn't end up happening. They celebrated, they won. Supposedly this is all done now. Damage Control is supposed to go on their own way. Becky Lynch goes her own way, and Lita because they're tag team champions. Hopefully that does happen because this has been a long rivalry since SummerSlam. So hopefully it is over. But what did you think?
Yeah, how I was telling Fernando, I feel like sometimes WWE goes too much with the nostalgia throwback, getting star power from back in the day for WrestleMania, and it didn't feel like they needed that. This was a great all-around showcase for the roster, but that portion with Lita and Trish, I really enjoyed because from the back in the day when you and I were growing up and watching WWE, we were big fans of them during the Divas era, and to see Trish and Lita because they were such big rivals back in the day to be together, and then with the man Becky Lynch. I think she really put it all together. And yeah, they're a little older. I know Lita was, struggling to make some of the Jeff Hardy
Yeah,
moves. How about
yeah,
that?
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Even Jeff Hardy struggles with those over
yeah,
at AEW.
but she's doing her thing.
I said AEW.
Oh, you can't say that here. Tony Khan, sorry. Sorry, Tony Khan. Actually, yeah, you're welcome. Uh, yeah, what happened?
No, so
Yeah,
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 so
I'm losing track. But
by the way, we all you don't have to smile like that. We all had hard eyes for Trish Stratus growing up. We all loved
I didn't
Trish
want to say
Stratus.
anything,
She
but
was
yeah.
our first crush. That was everybody's first crush. But yeah, no, good overall match. Now I'm wondering what that sets up for Becky Lynch and Lita. Is Lita going to be coming back every single night now? Are they going to lose the tag team champion soon because Lita goes back to doing her thing? That's going to be the interesting aspect of where how far this goes. Is one of them going to screw Becky Lynch, lose the tag team champions, and then set something up? So that's going to be the interesting part moving forward. Now we gotta head to one of our favorite matches: Rey Mysterio versus Dominik Mysterio. By the way, I know Dominik has been getting a lot of flack, and guys, be nice to Dominik. I know he's been a scumbag, but his entrance was actually pretty good. He comes in with a mask on, and like he looked like. Have you ever watched the New Guy? The one where the guy's like a nerd at his old school. He gets kicked out and he tries to become the cool guy at his next school. And he comes in like it's with what's his name? He's a comedian. I can't remember his name, but that was basically what I thought this was. Rey Mysterio paying homage to Eddie Guerrero was the beautiful part. Him and Snoop Dogg coming in a low rider. It was just awesome to see. But Gilbert, just like any good Mexican parent would, when their kids misbehaving, what do you do? He whoop that ass with that belt. So, what did you make of the match?
everything about that was well done, executed. And say you talk to somebody who doesn't know about wrestling, and you tell them the storyline, like, yeah, like father son fighting, one goes to prison, the family in the crowd. You think it's dumb, but it's like a novella,
Exactly,
excitement.
exactly.
And you got the wife and the sister in the crowd, and I know people are supposed to hate right now Dominic Mysterio, but he's doing such a great
He
job
really is.
being a good heel, and I feel like that's. I think I don't know. Maybe because you're better at this. Is he over the top? Over the top because I feel like he's getting to that point. Maybe in terms of like a wrestler, but overall, just being on the microphone,
I'll
he commands attention,
I'll
man.
tell you when a crowd goes "F you, Dominic." That and it didn't happen tonight, but it's happened before where he grabs the mic and they go "F you, Dominic." That was crazy. By the way, Bad Bunny was there, and he helped Ray out with that victory, so that was huge. It was cool to see Bad Bunny show up and kind of give Ray the assist. And I'm not trying to foreshadow. I'm going to go back to what you were asking me. I think Dominic is kind of over as a heel, but look who he's learning from: Damian Priest, Rhea Ripley, Finn Balor. So he's learning from some good folks right there. I'm sure he keeps on learning and he's growing every single day. I think he's doing a great job. Or somebody wrote an article saying that Triple H is right now he's really big on Dominic and that he thinks Dominic has a bright future in the WWE. And remember, Dominic didn't go to NXT. Dominic came straight to the main roster from training. So we'll see what Dominic ends up bringing. But the part where he throws the drink on his sister, that was crazy. I couldn't believe that.
There's so many moments from that. Cause
By the
like,
way, we need a Latino World
we
Order.
need LWO
Yeah,
shirts. I need
yeah,
Latino Heat shirts,
yeah,
and I'm gonna feel like I'm gonna forget something. But going back to like the Hall of Fame stuff, even that was well done. Where like I'm
yes,
like, you gotta have Dom there to see his dad, but I'm like, how are you gonna do it with the whole rivalry and the
yeah.
whole fight? And him being there and being a jerk was well executed.
But it had to have hurt him in his dad's biggest moment. He had to like upstage and like get out, like as a person. I mean, obviously, as a character, he did a great
Yeah,
job with
but you
it.
know what I was thinking when they were having that epic match in the ring, 80,000 people screaming or whatever the Miz said for attendance,
Yeah,
by
yeah, it
the
was
way.
over.
Yeah,
Yeah,
over
yeah,
80,000. I'm like, what a special moment. Having a big WrestleMania match, father son. Like, you're not supposed to not
exactly.
like each other, but to do it together the day after your dad went to the Hall of Fame, I thought it was a very special moment.
And after winning being the first dad son tag team champions
That's
ever.
awesome to put it all together. And I know the
Exactly.
storyline. I thought everything was well done. And then the biggest thing I enjoyed, man, when I know the lowrider was cool with Snoop Dogg, but when as soon as I heard "Viva la Raza"
Yeah,
and then lie, you cheat, you steal,
yeah.
that for Eddie Guerrero, you saw Eddie Guerrero's face, come up
Yep.
on the video screen. I thought that was amazing.
By the way, Vicky Guerrero gave a shout out to Rey Mysterio for it on Twitter. So, Vicky, obviously, you're a huge part of the WWE community. Everybody loves you, and everybody loves Eddie. And you could hear the chants of Eddie, Eddie coming through. And you could see the glass behind us. It doesn't let us hear very much, but when Eddie's song hit, you could
Erupted.
hear how it erupted. It's LA. There's a lot of Latinos here. People love Eddie Guerrero.
Yeah, and the thing with the Dominic, also in a way paying homage to Eddie
Eddie.
Guerrero with the mullet, the
Yeah.
frog splash, the little shimmy shake by the ring. All that was amazing for me and kind of took me back to my younger days.
One
And
match, it was the HBK, which was the Logan Paul Seth Rollins, and then this one was for
see,
Eddie
that's
Guerrero.
kind of the way you want to, pay homage to the throwback. I know you want to bring back like the Stone Cold and the Rock. Actually, I do want to see the Rock eventually, but I don't know.
That's not. Hey,
We'll see. We'll
that's
see.
Para cada una noche.
Yeah, but that was cool to do, and
Yeah.
just a whole weekend, even having Conan bring out a Rey Mysterio at for the introduction before the Hall of Fame speech for Ray. Even Ray's speech was amazing.
Oh
Everything
yeah.
overall for the
I didn't know
Latinos
the stuff.
wrestlers.
Can you imagine a Mexican woman telling her parents, "I am quitting medical school because I'm going to help my boyfriend out and send him money"? Do you know how much backlash she probably? And I don't know because I don't know her parents, but can you imagine how much backlash her parents probably face or she faced from her parents because of that? I mean,
And imagine, yeah, you're leaving
and
medical school and then telling your dad that for some dude.
and I said backlash,
Oh wow.
backlash. Bad Bunny will be
We're,
hosting backlash.
isn't it the wild thing? We're barely mentioning Bad Bunny. That's how
I know.
amazing that whole match was and
Exactly.
the night
Yeah.
was.
No, but now, and people were asking, does this set up Dominic versus Bad Bunny? I don't think Bad Bunny, especially with what he's everything he's doing right now, I don't think they'll allow him to do a whole match. I wonder if Bad Bunny just does a tag team match and maybe him and Ray versus I don't know, who knows? Maybe they do something like that where they do a tag team match. That'd be pretty cool. But Bad Bunny and he's gonna wrestle. Bad Bunny is way too addicted to the ring to not wrestle. So I think he wrestles, and I think he puts on a show in Puerto Rico. But it was so cool to see him, and the crowd erupted when he was there. Like so, definitely that was pretty cool. But by the way, Angie did slap Dominic in the face. That
Yeah,
was
and
pretty.
you got the beer in the
and
face
yeah,
too, the drink, or
exactly.
whatever's in that red cup. I don't
Yeah,
know. I don't know.
you're the expert on that, not me. So
But it was cool to see Bad Bunny also involved. Hollywood star taking the chain, helping out Rey Mysterio, 619, end the show like that, and then everybody coming out, LWO shirts.
Yeah.
It was good overall, and it's weird. Like I know, obviously I know it's a storyline, but seeing the wife, the sister, and Ray together celebrating that win, I'm like,
Yeah.
I wish Dom was in there to enjoy with the family, but like he's not supposed
so
to
he
be.
mouthed that should have when
Really,
he was getting like when he
nice
was getting
touch.
when he
See?
was leaving, you could see him now. That should have been me, and you're like, oh.
See, Fernando, that's sometimes the hardest part for a wrestler. Obviously, you want to do well in the ring and execute and do all that, but to, you know, be that aware, like on the mic,
Yeah.
people are watching you and play
Yeah.
heel so well. I shouldn't say this, but your friend Ronda Rousey, that's something that she needs to work on. But having a persona, being a heel, just being aware of the moment, and just being a showstopper, I guess you could say.
Yeah, there you
and
go.
then the police cars coming out for Dominic. We could do a
That
whole
was
show
really-
on this whole
I know.
freaking
Yeah,
fight.
no,
But
no,
overall,
it was
go ahead.
awesome. But yeah, no. And then now we're gonna move on to what I think stole the show. Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair. My God, there were so many oohs, ahs, ooh, ooh, ah. Like it was just crazy the way that they have so much chemistry, Gilbert. And I mean, they wrestled before 3 years ago when Charlotte won she won the women's championship or she won the Royal Rumble. And then she said, I don't want any of the women's champions. I want Rhea Ripley, the up and comer. She goes to NXT, she fights her, she beats her for the championship, and you could tell that was seething in Rhea's mouth. She didn't like that. By the way, congratulations to Rhea. She was involved with the Judgment Day, involved with Dominik, and she was fighting her own fight against Charlotte. Not tonight, but in general, leading up to WrestleMania. She was doing all three of those things, and she excelled at them. But man, the show tonight, she really kicked butt. Her and Charlotte just have incredibly wicked chemistry. I thought they both stole the show.
Did you notice the Rhea Ripley collar? What is
Yeah,
that? What-
mommy.
Mommy. Perfect. I love that. But how stressful for Rhea Ripley seeing Dom, her boyfriend, before and then having to have her own match. And by the way, Fernando, you mentioned the storyline for that one was a little flat to lead up. I read your
Yeah.
story at the Sporting Tribune. Great story, by the way, for the preview to get me ready. And I'm like, yeah, it did feel a little flat. You don't really hear about that one because those are two like giants, I guess to say
Yeah,
the least,
yeah.
in the women's wrestling. And I felt like I am okay. I'm gonna watch a match. I'm like whatever happens, we'll see. and I was blown away by the
Yeah.
performances between both wrestlers, Charlotte and Rhea Ripley. And I know people don't really care for Charlotte because maybe it's fatigue for being the champion for a long time. But I always been a big fan of Charlotte Flair, especially in
She's
the ring.
athletic. She's
Yeah, she's,
crazy.
she's amazing to watch.
Yeah.
And kind of hesitant about Rhea Ripley, but she's big. She's kind of look
Yeah.
you in the eye. You know what? I'm just as
Yeah.
strong and maybe not as athletic.
The DDT throwing like it, they threw caution into the wind as they say about Jeff Hardy. They were throwing themselves. They were doing all kinds of craziness. And Gilbert, I loved it. Like I just love what Rhea and Charlotte did. They just said, you know what, F, let's put on a show. We may not, because Charlotte did say on ESPN that she was angry that they weren't the main event. She's like, why is it that when the men win, they are the main event and women aren't? The only time that it wasn't was Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker. Well, that's one of the matches that I remember. I'd have to remember some other ones, but The Rock and Cena won, obviously. Uncle Joe Reedy, we can hear him
Yeah.
asking a question. But it was just crazy to see the level that Rhea and her took it to. They said, we're going to put on a main event before the main event. They went out there and they just did what they needed to do, Gilbert. I love that match. I was so excited. Like I said, every single time, like you're just amazing.
Yeah, after going by what you said with the flat storyline, I think that made up for everything. The lead
Yeah.
up to such an epic match, a memorable match, and I think you caught this, friend. I think after Rhea was having a celebration in the ring, holding the title, I think Charlotte in a way gave her props by
Yeah.
pointing back. Right? Is that what it was that you
Yeah.
caught?
Yeah.
I thought that was a nice touch there because it puts an end to the storyline. You know what? You got my respect. You're not just a girl from NXT that I went to go beat
Yeah.
up and stuff like that. You're the next face of this this company and the women's side. The more you get, the better because I kind of felt like earlier with Becky Lynch that it's a quick start. There you go. I
Yeah.
appreciate you guys watching. By the way, we have a nice little crowd here. I saw like 41 people. I saw 60 people.
Mavis wants us to talk about
We're
Roman
not there
Reigns.
yet, Mavis.
Yeah.
But overall, that was a great match between Charlotte and Rhea Ripley. And now I can't wait to see what happens next for Rhea Ripley as a champion.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely excited, man. And you know what sucks is that I love when they have the champion versus champion. Now I'm already like seeding to see Bianca. I mean, Bianca still has to fight Asuka, but now I kind of want to see a Bianca Belair versus Rhea Ripley rivalry. I think that'd be incredible, champion versus champion. But we'll get there later. The last match of the evening, or second to last match,
Yeah,
Gilbert.
surprise match.
There we go. Yeah. Gilbert, the surprise. The Miz comes out with Snoop Dogg, and Snoop just the antagonist that he is. He's like, it'd be cool if you had a match. And the Miz is like, I put it out on MySpace, Facebook, Twitter, everyone. Nobody wanted.
I never saw that, by the way.
Neither did I.
This challenge, I don't know where it was.
And guess who? Saludos desde Peru. And guess who comes out, Gilbert? McAfee. You just hear, oh yeah, and you just see oh no, let's go. Pat McAfee comes out. The crowd erupts. Fernando gets excited.
Real quick, I'm gonna do a little plug here. If you don't follow us on Instagram at Compass on the Beat, you get to see a nice video of Fernando being very surprised at seeing Pat McAfee come out and doing the ring walk, and you just mouth saying, "No way!" That was like the last thing you needed to be. Maybe at the end we could grade this whole day, but I think that's one thing you needed, and you got the Pat McAfee appearance.
Oh, dude, I was so hyped. Pat McAfee comes out. I was like, oh, yeah, here we go. And Pat tells him, I didn't see that little post. And you know, Pat's on social media. So he's like, I didn't see that little post. And by the way, Pat, again, I love the fight. I love what's his name said. What did in one of those I love Michael Cole's reaction. He's like, oh my God, it's Pat McAfee. He got so excited and everything. And I was like, if I could do it, that would have been my level too. Cause I just think Pat's, and then guess who helps him out? George Kittle, San Francisco 49ers tight end, gives him a helping hand. And you're just like, okay, cool. Like, let's add more. And he tells Pat, jump off the top. Pat just does a swanton off the top, and you're like, okay, hey, this is a lot of fun. But definitely, I thought it was awesome to see. I mean, The Miz is just one of the best in the WWE. I mean, go check out our interview with him. The Miz was awesome, awesome. But I love The Miz so much, and he ended up taking. Obviously, Pat McAfee ended up beating him. But the Miz is honestly so awesome that he doesn't need wins and losses. He deserves them. He deserves a lot more wins just because he's one of the best talkers in the WWE and one of the biggest workers. But he did awesome. It was awesome to see Pat back out here. Obviously, the crowd loved it, so it was pretty cool to see that match.
Yeah, Fernando, real quick, because I see a lot of people here watching live, and thank you for jumping on and joining the compas for the nice live show. And I want to get people engaged with in the comments. I see the comments and saludos to everybody from wherever you are around the world, which is pretty cool, by the way,
It
Fernando.
is.
Let me know what your favorite match was of the night, day one of WrestleMania, because there are so many we're going through right now. But I want to hear your thoughts in the comments. Your favorite match of day one of WrestleMania. But Fernando,
I hope day two isn't a letdown, bro. Like the matches that were
bro,
on today.
we got to grade it at the end
Yeah,
because I think we already here.
yeah,
But that was a nice surprise. Pat McAfee and the Miz, and sometimes I feel bad for the Miz because he's always kind of like the joke,
exactly.
but he does that so again like Dom, the character. You got to sell your character so well, and who else to kind of be the joke than the Miz? And I think he knows his character and he plays it so well. And that guy is just cool, amazing guy.
Go.
He does anything for the roster. I feel
You
like.
have to go and check some of the Miz's most passionate promos, and you guys have to remember the Miz was kicked out of the locker room his first few years in WWE because he had dropped some salad dressing supposedly on somebody's bag. They kicked him
Yeah,
out
I
for
saw
3 years, and he worked his ass off
Undertaker
to
had
get back.
a show him respect, right? Is that the
Yeah,
one?
yeah. The Undertaker was the one that kind of told him, "Hey, you just have to do X, Y, and Z, and just do this to get back in there." But really, I thought the Miz did a great job. Snoop Dogg obviously being there. He's like, "You got this. You got this. You go in there.
He's
You
like,
got
that's what
this."
you do.
Yeah,
I just rap. So
yeah,
go ahead and do what you're
exactly.
doing, man.
But I think you know what? I think Snoop Dogg is actually like headlined here so many times, like the Super Bowl, the Chargers
Yeah,
draft party, and the WrestleMania. I mean, the
he's always here, man.
Snoop Dogg's always here, so definitely
Even the
excited to see that.
WrestleMania, the pre-show,
Yeah,
like a
yeah,
year ago.
yeah,
What's what it
yeah, yeah,
was?
yeah. In August,
Press
yeah,
conference. There you
he
go.
was here too. Yeah, him and Becky Lynch and Bianca Belair were dancing on stage. Now let's go to the final match of the evening: the Usos, the Ones, versus Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. Obviously, the Usos start off on fire. They start hitting these guys. They go at them hard, Gilbert. And then at the end, it's like I told you, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens turn superhuman, and they just come back and they end up beating the Usos for the tag team championships. Kind of disappointing in a sense because I thought the rivalry has been awesome. The Usos and I think the Usos and Roman Reigns have done such a great job in the past over 600 days since they had the tag team championships. But I mean, all good things must come to an end. Now it's a Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. It puts a story complete, and he gets his revenge. So pretty cool to see Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn pick up the victory.
Fernando, I'm an honest guy here. When I am wrong, I will admit to it. I told you, Fernando, you're gonna turn off the lights here. Don't kick us out just yet. But when I'm saying I'm gonna admit my mistakes. Turn off the lights and I walk away. But I told you, you know what? Rey Mysterio, Pat McAfee, Rhea, and Charlotte. Like you can't top that. This
Yeah.
main event with Sami Zayn and KO and the Usos feels flat. The crowd's not into it. They have so much energy that they gave already that they can't do it again. And you're like, it just started, man. The match just started. Give it
Yeah.
some time. And then like 10, 15 minutes. And you see the 1-2-3 kick out or the 1-2 count kick out. And Sam just taking a beating after a beating, a kick to the face, multiple kicks to the face. And
Then they double choke slam Kevin Owens through the English announce table, not the
yeah,
Spanish.
the Spanish.
One.
Finally, I feel like sometimes the
Yeah.
Latinos, man, they take it too much. But seeing those kickouts, even you were like, okay, come on, enough is enough. These
Yeah.
guys are superhuman, but that got you hooked. You
Yeah.
got invested into the main event, and I felt, you know what? Somehow they did it. That was a good main event. I was very skeptical at first.
Oh my god, it's the things that WWE does so well, and I think Triple H has really done a great job, Gilbert. And we hear his voice right now. Is that you, God?
Triple H.
He's done such a good job since he has taken over, and I really do feel like he's put a stamp on this, and I hope he continues it because he's giving guys a chance. He's brought back guys like Braun Strowman. He's brought back people that Vince had gotten rid of, and you're like, oh, I hope he keeps on doing that, and he ends up doing it, and you could just tell that if they leave Triple H in control, he's got a handle on this, and he's put on a good show so far. Night one, night two is going to be very interesting to see how they top it. But look at the storyline, the Bloodline storyline. They've continued that. It was 8 9 month story to finally tell and to finally have the night to put it together, and they finally did. I thought it was incredible, and that's the thing about storylines. To tell them, it takes time. You can't rush them, and that's one of the things that they've done. A beautiful storyline, and the same thing with Roman Reigns. They had him fight Logan Paul. They had him do other things, but at the end, it's him now versus Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. Cody Rhodes. Nobody in the Rhodes family has ever held the WWE Championship. Roman Reigns' family has had championships for years. The Rock, the Usos, him, their family's full of gold. His the Rhodes is, and so this is the Usos and or the Anoa'i family versus the Rhodes family, and this is going to be interesting come night two. But that's what I mean. Like it's the storyline that really hooks you, and that's why people today were excited, and that's why people got hyped. The stories that were told were put together tonight, and I thought it was even the Logan Paul Seth Rollins. People sometimes some people were like skeptical about it. They put on a show, so that's the beautiful part about this is that what WrestleMania is the culmination when everything comes together, and you see what kind of show you have. And I thought Triple H and company put on a great night one.
Fernando, this is why you're a true pro. We're about to wrap up the show. You're doing a preview for tomorrow's show, day 2 of WrestleMania.
Yeah,
But I want to grade this real quick.
let's
Because
do it.
overall, like we mentioned, we just went through right now 30 minutes of highlight after highlight, memorable fight, memorable
Yeah.
moment, NLA. And like I told you, like they didn't need to bring back the blast from the past to really
No.
kind of hold this event. And when I said the main event, you know what, it can't top what I just saw, and they did. So I'm not a good grader. I guess I'll say I'm pretty tough. That's what I'll say. I'm not a lenient grader. That's the better word to say. So I'm gonna go A minus.
Wow.
I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Just from storyline, performances, it didn't feel long either.
Yeah.
There was like when I told you, hey, I need to go take a break eventually because some of these matches are gonna be dragging on. None of them did. I don't know what it was. Just being here in person and
Yeah.
hearing the atmosphere and the crowd, and they piped in the sound here in the press box, and you felt like you were out there and you're
Yeah.
part of the crowd. And I know there's no cheer in the press. Some of those moments where we all got into it was pretty
Yeah.
cool. But overall, and it's my first time at a WrestleMania.
Me too.
A minus for me. I'm not even sure why I'm giving it A minus, but I feel like I'm being too nice that
Yeah.
I got to leave some wiggle room for day 2.
I gave it an A minus as well, and I'm writing something on the Sporting Tribune about this. I gave it an A minus. I thought it was a great show. Everything was really good. I thought the only match that I thought was a little bit slow, it was a John Cena versus
Yeah,
Austin Theory
I'll give
match.
you that.
The Charlotte Flair, I gave it an A plus. Charlotte Flair versus Rhea, I gave the Usos versus Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens an A plus as well. They did a great job. Seth Rollins versus Logan, A minus. So that's what I truly believe. I truly believe that they did a really good job with it, and I thought it was a good. I thought it was a good show. So I'm just night two, man. There's a lot. There's a lot. They put a lot of really good matches night one. I hope they're able to top it off night two. But folks, before we go, do not forget to subscribe, comment, and like. Go through all of our. We've had interviews with all kinds of wrestlers this week. Please check those out. Please check out the rest of our stuff tonight as well. We will be going live as soon as WrestleMania is over. We will be going live, so don't forget to come back to Compas on the Beat, or Combat Compas, and we will be going live. Night one of WrestleMania was truly epic. We loved it. It is amazing. Hopefully, you guys will be back with us tomorrow night to check it out because we're going to have a lot to say, Gilbert.
Yeah, and again, follow us on Instagram. We have so much content on the Instagram account at Compas on the Beat. That's also kind of the part of the network here of Combat Compas. If you know us just from Combat Compas, we have so many channels here: YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, at Compas on the Beat. Check it out. And this is pretty much spur of the moment, Fernando. I think the night was so well done and memorable. We got to talk about it, do it live, and this is why kind of just floating heads again.
And you can see the stage behind us.
You see the background. It's cool. And we got like over 80 people at one point, and saw the comments. So overall, even this was a success, right?
Yeah,
so overall,
definitely.
Thank you guys for jumping on, and it was a good time.
And don't forget, have fun. Night two, get excited. WrestleMania, let's go.
Awesome. Too late.